What you think? Do zombies really exist? And if you turned into a zombie, what would you do? This is the story of a hostel at the American Institute of Innovation, where one night something happened that no one could have imagined, not even in their worst nightmares. It was 1 a.m. On the ground floor corridor of the boys' hostel, only one room still had its lights on. Room 107. Inside sat Oliver, a fourth-year engineering student, preparing for a placement interview scheduled for the next day. Coffee stains covered the table. Formulas were written all over the whiteboard. Outside the window there was nothing but darkness and an eerie silence. The kind of silence that comes before a storm. Earlier that day, a huge tech company called Hypotenuse Technologies had visited the campus for placements, but Oliver had failed to get selected. Already upset, he didn't want to leave any gaps in his preparation anymore. He was determined to land a good job no matter what. Suddenly, thud. A loud noise echoed through the corridor outside his room, as if something heavy had fallen. At first, Oliver ignored it. Strange noises in hostels were normal. Maybe someone was drunk. Maybe someone had gone to the bathroom. But then he heard something else. A low growling sound. Like some kind of animal was roaming outside. Slowly, Oliver opened his door and peeked into the corridor. The hallway was empty. Only one flickering tube light remained on. But on the floor there was a thin, dark trail leading from the common bathroom, passing directly in front of his room and stretching toward the staircase to the first floor. When Oliver looked closer, his heart nearly stopped. It wasn't water, it was thick, dark blood. Suddenly a scream erupted from the common bathroom. Gathering his courage, Oliver slowly walked toward it. What he saw inside froze him in terror. A boy, his face completely covered in blood, was biting into the neck of a first-year student named Amit. And the blood-covered boy was someone Oliver recognized instantly. Lucas, one of his closest friends. They played cricket together almost every evening. Oliver couldn't understand what had happened to him. But the moment Oliver stepped forward to help Amit, Lucas turned toward him and let out a horrifying growl. Then, moving in a strange, twisted way, Lucas began walking toward Oliver. Terrified, Oliver ran back to his room and locked the door from inside. Breathing heavily, he grabbed his phone. The hostile group chat was exploding. 500+ messages. Bro, lock your room. Don't open the door. People have gone insane. They're attacking everyone. Shocked, Oliver kept reading. Apparently during the pre-placement party earlier that evening, some of the college toppers had consumed an experimental serum. After drinking it, they began attacking other students, turning them into monsters like themselves. Before Oliver could process everything, the electricity went out. The entire room was swallowed by darkness. Even the phone network disappeared. Only the faint blue glow from his laptop and phone screen lit the room. And in that dim blue light, Oliver noticed something terrifying. Someone was standing outside his door. A shadow was visible beneath it. Knock. A soft knock echoed through the room. Trying to stay calm, Oliver whispered, "Who's there?" No response. Then came 3 louder knocks. Thud, thud, thud. This time it sounded impatient, aggressive. Oliver slowly stepped backward as his hands trembled. He turned on his phone flashlight. The door handle began moving slowly. Left, right, left, right. As if someone outside was trying to force their way in. Suddenly the handle started shaking violently. Bang! The door shook hard. Then again. Bang! The wooden frame began cracking. It felt like whoever was outside wanted to tear the door apart. Then, silence. Complete silence. No movement, no knocking, nothing. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Oliver slowly moved toward the door. Maybe it had left. But the very next second, crash! The door exploded open and slammed onto the floor. Standing there was Lucas. Breathing heavily, growling with rage. He looked even more horrifying now. Lucas slowly stepped into the room. Oliver's mind went blank. He truly believed this was the end. Just as Lucas lunged toward him, Oliver grabbed a nearby chair and smashed it against Lucas's head. Using that moment, Oliver shoved Lucas aside and sprinted out of the room. He sneaked through the campus, trying to reach the main gate. But then he saw them. More than 100 students stumbling together in a massive horde. Their eyes glowed pale white. Their clothes were torn. Bite marks covered their bodies. Blood stained every face, and all of them were heading straight toward him. Panicking, Oliver ran into the college library and hid behind a bookshelf. One by one, infected students began entering the library. Oliver's entire body shook with fear. Slowly, the infected began leaving again. Oliver thought he was finally safe. Then, a drop of blood landed on his face. Confused, Oliver looked upward, and his blood ran cold. Lucas was crouched on top of the bookshelf. The next second, he jumped down on Oliver. The infected crowd rushed back inside. They surrounded him completely. Oliver's screams echoed throughout the entire library. A few moments later, Oliver slowly opened his eyes. His eyes had turned white, just like the others. Oliver had become a zombie too. The American Institute of Innovation had now become the American Institute of Zombies. But who will stop this zombie outbreak? And what happens next?